And this is my scepter here. Here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, wow. So that's all of us. We've grown. Last time there was only 3 of us. This time there's 4 of us. It's just beautiful. We have this gorgeous little group and we can have some intimate conversations. And I would like to open this Jewels of Wisdom gathering. I have pressed the record button. You know, Doris, so next time, because I know you were quite upset last time I forgot to press the record button, and it just didn't work. I did later, but it just didn't come out well. You can actually see it on your screen if it's recording, so you can always remind me. I know that Hans Christian sometimes reminds me to press the record button.
But I saw it last time on the screen. But
yes.
Maybe,
it didn't take. It
didn't take. Yeah.
No, it didn't. I don't know what it was, but it was corrupted or it was just not meant. You know, sometimes it's just not meant. Not meant to be.
Stay like this.
Yes, yeah. And Angela, I didn't realize you didn't I didn't realize you didn't sign up yourself, and then when I looked there wasn't your name, so that's why I was a little bit late. I was in the last minute signing you up.
Thank you very much. I was a little bit I made the payment and then I thought that with the payment I will receive that link automatically, and therefore I didn't worry about now, and I didn't check it till 5 minutes ago, and I looked, oh, there is a link, I can join, and I didn't pay attention that it's another way of connecting, but that's now okay. I'm understanding.
Yeah, that's all right. Me too. I better check next time. I'll check for everyone. There's all these little things, isn't it? But no matter, welcome each and every one of us to this royal gathering. So today we are feeling royal. So just feel into, even if just feel yourself royal. Ah, there we go. You're from a snowy planet. A snowy road.
Yeah, no, I can't. After Doris comes up with such a beautiful crown, I have to bring up something else.
Yes, she did. You did it beautifully. Yes. Well, and how has it been this last few weeks? It's been intense, hasn't it?
Oh. Do you want to hear something more than just
whatever you like, it's up to you, whatever you like to say.
But I let Andrew start.
Okay. Sometimes I find during the last time I'm a little bit busy with work, and Saturday morning I'm doing driving lessons that are not easy for me, and how to say, bring me together with people before. Now I don't have the time, and last week I looked and I on Alexis page, and I realized that I missed some gathering. I would like to participate, but I missed them. And I said, look, I'll put a reminder for me on Friday to look on her page and to check if I have available time on Saturday to join. And that what I did yesterday. And I'm very grateful for that. I was thinking about the theme because the theme I saw it
Okay, so we can't, she'll be back. Her line is not that good. Hello, you're cutting out a little bit, Angela. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you're cutting out a little bit.
Hopefully it will not happen. It's a connection what I have inside of my house.
Yes,
Usually
yeah.
it works well, but sometimes I don't know what happens.
And if it keeps cutting out, you can maybe try just audio as well in the last resort, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, yes. just let me know if it doesn't work, okay?
Yeah.
The plan was to put a dress on me because I like dresses, and I had a very a good opportunity this summer to wear dresses here in UK. It was a very hot summer. It was without rain, and it was a plan to put a dress, but a friend called me, and I don't talk to her so often. I said, okay, it's let's feel royal in this way. She wants to talk to me. I want to talk to her. And for about 1 hour and a half, we talked before this meeting with you. And I'm very, how to say, inside I feel royal. It doesn't matter if I didn't put the dress on. I feel that, and I feel that all the people are royal inside. They just don't know it, or it's covered with lots of things. Like I used to have that protection shields on me, and it was everything okay because it was based on my past experiences, and but now when I taking them out one and another one, yes, I feel vulnerable, but at the same time it's a lot of sensuality, lots of gentleness, lots of playfulness around colors and shapes, and with this helps nature a lot because if I don't go into the nature or outside one day, let's say in the morning, that I do now, I don't feel quite balanced during the day. I need to take that step in the morning to see if there is a sun on the sky, sunrise, to feel the breeze of the wind in the morning, to hear how birds are chipping, yeah,
Chirping, yes, yeah.
Chirping, yeah, and that brings me. It's not that brings. I'm already but that helps me to connect with everything that is around, and it helps me to feel in a balance during the day. And I'm going in this way step by step. I don't have huge plans around me like I used to have in the future. If there is an experience that comes in front of me and it hurts, and I understand that it's for my healing, it might be. If it hurts, it's still for me and it's for my healing. Sometimes it doesn't have something with the person that is in front of me, and I try to take it the way it is, not with the mind like I used to analyze and say that is good, that is bad, that is so, that is another way, like the way it is. And when I communicate with people, my job is about doing interpreting on the phone. Lots of people are coming in contact with me, and when I find that way that the person is open, in the past I used to do it with everyone, but now I sense that the person is open, and then I share my vision if it's possible with that person, and that is my life now. There are some challenges, there are some steps that I'm not sure to take them or not to take, but I don't put them too much in the mind because I understand that the mind will not help me more going inside, more finding that peace inside, that silence, silence. And from the silence, I understand that thoughts are not me, emotions are not me. So, and it's always that energy inside that helps me to feel alive, feel my body alive. There are parts that are sometimes in pain, and I help them to relax, to feel well, to feel better. And I understand that I am contracting them, not someone else. I am doing unconsciously, maybe. In general, I'm grateful. In general, I'm grateful. It was not the same 1 year ago or 2 years ago. I went through very
I was
harsh
going to say
things.
that when I first met you, you were going through such difficult times, and you didn't feel, it almost felt like you were not going to make it through, isn't it? Like it was quite intense and so full on and very challenging, and your energies that I felt from you were full on, like a really hardship and limitation, and it's like all of that cultural stuff was coming out for you on from family, wasn't it? It's just quite incredible to see you, because like I listen to you talking, and it's exactly what I'm doing, and we've become such incredible masters in the last few years, all of us. It's just magical to see and to hear you speak.
It's not only what I feel. For example, one neighbor of mine around me, it's let's say people are living, but they're not of my age. They are older. They are pension age, like that. And ladies saw me not being able to go up the hill, walking, not running. And now she sees me running, and she said, I saw you are running, I saw you are doing that, you are better. And I said, yes, I am very grateful for this. This is a miracle. I am healing, let's say, without surgery intervention. I'm healing without drugs. Yes, I'm taking some vitamins. I understood that my body needs that, maybe because here it's not so much sunshine always, or maybe I'm not eating always what my body needs. But I feel that I have to take that vitamins to help me to go through this age, like 47, 48, about this, around this age. And if I don't take vitamins, I feel something in the body that something is missing, and I try to take vitamins, not too much, but maybe a half what a normal before my age. And but what is for example, when I came in contact with doctors, and they understood that I healed without their intervention, without hormonal treatment they advised me to go through. They don't ask me why, what did you do, what happened to you, what helped. Maybe we'll be able to spread this information to other people. Maybe not all of what you did, but some of this what you did. I'm very grateful for your help, Alexis, because first steps I took with you. First, I think that was with Crimson Circle, but that led me into a spiritual bubble. Now I see that was a spiritual bubble. I was struggling, and I was fighting, still inside of me and around me. But first steps about healing I took with you, with Michael, I think with Yeshua as well.
And
I'm
you
very
worked with
grateful.
Mary. You worked with Mary as well, didn't you? A
Mary,
lot.
yeah, with Mary, yeah. Feminine energy during last time. I don't have time always, I would say, to say that when I look at living in the flow with Tanya, I saw lots of feminine energy in you, in your in the way you appear in front of the camera, and I feel that in me as well. And it's not that old feminine that used to be. It's a kind of balanced, and also masculine energy comes. You need to do that. You know, it's not need, but I have to like things around me to sort them out. And I need that masculine energy to put it in action, to make things to be done in a way. Because if I don't do them, who will do them? And but I like my body, I like my hair now. I accept that.
Okay, your connection is a little bit gone now.
Okay, stop video. Hello.
Oh, yeah, you're back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped the video, otherwise I think the connection is not the best one. This is all of from my side. I feel the synergy inside of me, and when I feel that the person in front of me is open to receive it, I share it, because I understand that that person also has this energy inside, and it just maybe they are not a
Angela, can you hear me? Angela, hello.
maybe I'll be more to the in the space where I am more near to the router. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Better?
we can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
But
So
what
this
I would like to maybe just a quick suggestion to really appreciate yourself, because all of this you've done, you made the choices, and then you've done these huge energy changes within yourself, and like, you know, you can feel it. I could feel it as you were doing over the last couple of years, when you really were there to, and you made the choice, and I could feel it. And this is what you're probably also feeling with other people, because you become very discerning, isn't it? And I don't waste time anymore, like when with normal people, when you feel that, okay, they have no interest in change right now. If in 2 weeks time they will, then straight away you can, but because the times are so quick, and we just have to just let go, and then just really work with those people. Be present, really, because it's not really that much that is needed, isn't it? It's just basically, it's just maybe sometimes invoking that spark within them, or sometimes just helping it to just burn. But it is all an inner job. It is all, you've done it, you know, you've done this incredible work, and the knowledge and the wisdom that you now have, because you've moved this. It's quite incredible to see in another person and other people. That's the most satisfying thing, to be a witness to how one person chooses, and then they actually follow through those changes, and you can feel it. You can feel that passion, and you can feel that choice, because their energy feels so different, even though they may be going through like the darkest of the darkness, which sometimes they do, you know, because you have to go really deep into. But it's a very different feeling than someone, let's say a normal person who has a depression. It's very different feeling, because it's not stuck at all. It's moving lightning speed. And yeah, I often also think about you, you know, because then I'm thinking, wow, how is she doing? And sometimes I see some posts, and it's like, wow, I can feel the energy in your words different, you know.
Yeah, you're right here, Alexis. And about interacting with other people, the main how to say, when it's feeling, that feeling, what do they feel? I can feel, because I was there. I am open. I was there, and what comes first is compassion, and I understood compassion, and I felt compassion when I went through all this experience, and when I step by step I made steps, and I came like in contact with me more. And I look at myself like in the past, and I said, look, at that time, if someone would tell me do that or that or that or that, I would not do. I would then sometimes it's just honoring the experience, not to, it's not necessary to tell something to people, just honoring the experience. And if there is a place to encourage them to make the next step, that the next step, not to stuck there in the step where they are. That is, yeah, I'm very grateful for my soul, the guidance of my soul. I was thinking in the past, oh, how I will understand that, or how do I, now I don't hear the soul in a voice, with a voice, but it's a guidance, it's a kind of feeling. I feel that is always with me, and I don't have that inside that so those thoughts, what will happen? Sometimes, yes, when I go into crowds, I can pick up some energies, but I'm aware and I'm coming back to myself, and I'm more with the trust. Oh, this is the word, the trust that I'm here and I'm not alone. Thank you very much.
And that you feel yourself as royalty, that you feel yourself inside royal, you know, royal lineage, royal being, like this amazing, magnificent being. And that is such a challenge, especially like, because I can relate with you in many ways on a level of cultural, because, you know, we're from Eastern Europe, and there is such an oppression there of feminine, especially, isn't there? Like, and how we're supposed to be and not be expressive, and not, you know, just like often if I go to not so much Slovenia, but maybe Croatia, where I also have some you know, bloodlines, and the women there, all the women, they are is even wearing the scarves and that grayness and kind of, I don't know, depression, just very often beaten by life, you know, like all of their joy gone. And to actually then allow soul through all of that, that was huge. Like, and it took years, and you've done it so quickly, like to be able to feel oneself, myself as a feminine, as open, even, for example, just dancing with like, let's say by myself, with myself, it was, you know, all of us, shame used to come, like every little thing was just such a big deal, you know, because like, oh my gosh, all of those voices came, and no, you shouldn't, you know, like you have to be serious with this, I'm sure there's some cleaning to do, you know, all those ancestral voices. And just to be able to dance and enjoy and feel that presence of music, just those kind of little things were just a huge big deal. So that's why I would like to congratulate you again, just what monumental steps, you know, both all four of us are taking in our own way, because we're just walking through these huge walls inside, you know, huge walls of fear, walls of oppression, walls of being not feeling worthy, and all of these kind of things. It's huge.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing this.
I have lots of to share. Yeah, I have lots of to share, but I would like to give to how to say, to be here with you as well, to listen to your experiences as well, and that is a great moment for me. Thank you very much.
Doris, you wanted to start?
Or men first?
Lady. Your Highness.
Yeah. Wow. You know, as I told you, I come from another star called Umbuku, and I let a Oxford student channel me during the night to be able to speak Oxford English today.
Oh, so we're that posh.
no, as I came down into my human self again from far away, yeah, my human self was sometimes during the last 4 weeks, sometimes very sad. He didn't, the human self didn't understand what's going on. And my soul self, of course, showed me so much. It was just sometimes, well, I had to breathe and breathe and breathe, because again and again, it's mostly the same we're talking about. So many aspects came home, and there came aspects home I was sure I already did integrate them, but not 100%. Again, it's the fighter, how do you call it? Oh yeah, no, I speak Umbuku and I forgot my English. The student didn't tell me everything during one night he beamed to me on the planet. Yeah, it was also criticizing, and I just lost the word. Judging, and some more. I thought I did integrate, but there were facets of them also not being satisfied. Tanya made me aware of this already some month ago. You are always outside, you are not satisfied with what you have. So I really had to dive inside me. I realized that beautiful table you were once talking about, it's all inside in your inner landscape. And for me, a very important realization was that I now can distinguish what's coming from the outside and what's from the inside. And the inside was also my feminine self wanted to be acknowledged. Like, yeah, it was very interesting, Angela, what you were talking about. It was also for me, actually, when I was a small child, also my feminine self was there. Even I was criticized permanently by my family because of my, yeah, acting out a little bit different than all the others. But yeah, until I got married, I really played. It was in a sort of harmony, the feminine and the masculine, and then the feminine was covered down. For years, I had to fight sometimes, or I thought as a human, I had to fight, and this fighting, of course, pushed me in a totally different direction. And now I realized for what I was fighting, and could let this all down, just come down, come inside to myself. And I really had also the most beautiful experience about a week ago, 10 days ago, in the morning, where I was just diving so deeply into the fountain of myself, where everything was balanced. And then my soul showed me that there was a part, let's say, of my soul, I don't know how you would call it or tell, but some part of my soul, I knew it's there, but there was this, it's not possible. This is me now. I don't believe it. It's not who me now. I don't believe it. And then I always knew this. He was there since my awakening, I would say, at my side, sometimes more often, sometimes less. And now I realize this. Yeah, it's an ascended master, and it's now so beautiful to feel him, to feel my soul, to feel also Mary Magdalene, who is now for the feminine self. Also through your sessions with Mary Magdalene, I enjoyed it so much because she really brought me back to this feminine self who was just crying, not really crying, but who wanted to be accepted. And in this acceptance of who I am, I now started to appreciate where I do live, even I always wanted to move. I do appreciate the forest, the waterfalls around here, the small things, what you often show in your pics, the small things in nature. And nature became also so very, very important for me. The moment I'm outside, I'm sitting on a bench, I feel earth is just coming up through me. It's all, it's talking with me. I feel the sensitivity, the sensations. And yeah, it was the last time. Sometimes I was in, well, how should I say, just going around and around, and I often had to remind me who I am, to be there, to just to come back to my inner self and know that's me, and let go what else is going on the world. Because yeah, we all know what's going on in the eastern part of the world. Sometimes I got involved in it, and now I try to stand behind the short wall and say I do accept it all, no matter what. There are cruelties and this, but I do accept it. It's bringing up this enormous change, and we are here to prepare it. And so often my soul told me, bring Theos onto earth. It's always Theos, Theos, Theos. And I think it's, yeah, I realized my mission too. Suddenly it was so clear what's my mission, and this gave me peace, security, and yeah, freedom. Freedom to go beyond all the borders and just be me, no matter what. Yeah.
But it is a challenge to accept that feminine, isn't it? It's a challenge to really feel royal in the feminine, because that part has been suppressed for so long inside. Like for me, I always, my father wanted a boy. I always wanted to be a boy, and that's kind of been the wish to be. And so it was also shocking for me to realize that I was suppressing the feminine, and then the world was just reflecting that in all of the experiences, when people said, oh no, you can't be this because you're a woman or whatever. I didn't listen, luckily, but it wasn't easy because you really have to walk alone, from where I come from, and the generations and stuff. It was so much walking alone and so much just not being accepted. So for me in the last, always they come these parts that feel very lonely, very alone, rejected, and so in that space it is a challenge to actually feel that, okay, I am actually worthy, so inside I would always sort of like try to pull to some other part and say, okay, so this feels worthy, so I'll feel this. But there were parts that really didn't, and there are still some parts that don't feel worthy, because they've just experienced this oppression, and not just from the outside but from the inside, or not even oppression, just dismissal. And being dismissed, it doesn't have to do like just being a woman. I find it's like, whether you're not the rich like there's only few people in our society that really have a voice, like they speak, whether they're TV presenters or rich people or politicians, and everyone else. We're just supposed to be this one crowd, someone that is not listened to. We just have to put up with whatever's given to us. And those parts that played that and keep co-creating that, it's a huge leap, don't you find, to actually feel worthy in those parts, for those parts to actually feel worthy. And until they feel worthy, those parts also, then we keep, because we create from our whole self, we then keep creating, co-creating the world that also still has those parts, people and whomever that are not worthy, you know. So but it's like a huge big deal to like, for those parts, whatever they are, to feel worthy. I found that still sometimes, like, how do I do this? And in those times, really just like, okay, I just surrender to my soul. I just surrender. But it is kind of like a process, you know, and that these parts that keep coming up, and it's like, okay, I don't feel worthy, and they don't feel worthy. And they even find it hard to believe that I actually am royal, you know, part of everything. Even though they feel now that love and the presence of the soul, they still feel that, wow, you know, this is for someone else, not for me. Do you find something similar in your experience?
It was for me a little bit different, I would say, because some years ago I was abandoned. I was somebody, also my ex-husband, somebody well known in society. I was very open with my gallery on television and so on. People just didn't know me. And then once I had to close the gallery, my soul came to me and said, well, something drastic had to happen. You had to close your gallery because you were married to it. And this was my coming to not the enlightenment. I forgot should my English, my awakening. And I had to let it go. And of course, it was first very extremely hard for me to be somebody in society, and suddenly you are a nobody, because I've lost everything, like so many genres. Everything I once had, I lost, and I stood there naked to start a totally new life. And this took me some years really to accept, because of course, with the not being concentrated in your soul, in what's really your truth, the depth of their soul. I was longing, I was missing for this, what I've lost. And now I just I realized, oh, what a beauty. I had to go through this. I had to experience how it does feel to not be abandoned, to not be healthy. And I did the same as you did, Angela. I did heal myself. I never saw a doctor for it, or my body told me exactly no surgery, no chemo, nothing. You are able to do it by yourself, and I did it. And but it's also my body is asking for vitamins, vitamins, and also this fungus. There are some like Tremella and some others who do support my body now. So I just listened to my body, and this gave me also this peace with myself. Okay, it's all inside. I don't need the surgery from outside. It's just I have to be with myself and just trust myself. And also, at being a royal, as my incarnation before was royal, and there were only 4.5 years in between, I brought kind of this royalty in this life, and I very often felt as a royal, as a princess, and this was also an experience. The princess had to come down from the high horse, because it was the princess from outside, not from inside. And this is now what's so beautiful for me to feel, to sense the difference, that the princess acting in the outside and really be the queen inside, what it means to feel this royally inside as a royal soul. And everything is just the sunshine is royal, just to experience this. Everything is royal, it's glorious, it's magnificent. There's nothing nothing bad or so anymore. And yeah, this was a very, very big realization for me, which happened or occurred during the last weeks. But it was a long way throughout years.
Wow. Congratulations, because that's a huge one too. Congratulations to start feeling like that, and without having to, there's this incredible freedom. Do you find when you integrate both sides, and it's when you actually integrate the other side that is scary, like for example for you were successful, so then you had to integrate what it's like to be a loser, because in duality, isn't it, it's always the whole coin, two sides.
Yes,
and that's right. And I found that it's not that we have to go into every single example of the duality, but I think that each one of us has a few examples where you really experience what it's like to integrate both sides, and then to own those both sides. And then it's this incredible freedom, because you are no longer bound to have to be just one side and to have to put so much energy. Isn't there so much energy invested into just being one side and suppressing that other side and not acknowledging it and putting it, onto other people? And then then this fear is created, and we fear being like, for me, when I sort of integrated that other side, the most fearful things, it was like, okay, the survival, for example, things and stuff like that. It was like, wow, there's so much freedom now. And another thing is also that I find that those parts that I used to think that were not good, or like I put them in a bag of, oh, this is a loser, what society says it's a loser, actually those parts are so handy. They know how to deal with things that, the more, let's say, nicer part doesn't know how to deal with. And because we live in this kind of still with unawakened people, I need those parts, and those parts are not ashamed to swear when it needs to be sworn, to say no, when it needs to be said no. But that other kind part was too nice. So being whole has so many benefits, and it just like enlarges my experience with this is that it enlarges the sphere of where I can operate and how I can operate, and also what potentials then I'm able to utilize, because before those potentials were just out of my reach because they were in the spaces that I blocked off. And so there's just this incredible feeling of freedom, because all of a sudden it's like, wow, I can deal with that. And all of a sudden, perhaps there were certain people that I was too afraid to deal with, but these parts actually are not afraid of these people, and they can deal with it. And so my sphere, my world just keeps enlarging. And so after a few times, it just becomes like a joy to integrate, because it's every time it's like, wow, I wonder what kind of talents you're going to bring me,
Yeah, that's what I experienced too, that now there's calm within me. I mean peace with myself no matter what. And I do trust. And with this trust, trusting my truth, the truth can come forth, and the truth is a treasure box, which opens now what I perceive my potentials. I suppressed before so many potentials, my knowingness, my wisdom. I did suppress it, and the moment I I said, yes, I accept you. I accept your presence in my life. They come forth, and therefore now I feel my measurement so beautiful. It's now so, everything now is so clear for me. Even I'm still here in the Black Forest, in a 2-room apartment, no castle anymore, no mansion anymore. Two-room apartment, but 1 minute away from the forest, and yeah, this has changed. My perception of things have changed. What gives me really freedom? What is really abundance for me? And not looking at the outside anymore. And of course, it would be great. I would be in abundance again, but I feel so deeply that at the appropriate time, it's there naturally without doing anything. So yeah.
And another, you can congratulate on yourself on all these things that you're allowing, all the wisdom that you're allowing in, and that you are trusting you rather than, you know, feeling that, okay, there is something outside of me, because that's the whole thing. We can share, all of us, we can share, but it just always comes back to this trusting me, trusting myself, coming back to me, you know. It's incredible.
So yeah, therefore I am the queen today, but from another planet. The planet from within.
And what would have to change for you to feel queen on earth? Earthly queen.
To bring my inside to live it outside. This that this is not discussing it anymore and saying, no, it's not possible, I can't do it. I suppressed so many things because I thought, oh, I can't speak with other people about it. They would laugh. I mean, this was my experience with 3D people some years ago. And now in my family, my eldest daughter, concerning my body, she said, okay, mommy, if you accept this, I know she's with her reality is different than mine, but they in a way they do accept me, but I feel that sometimes they smile on me, or they just smile and say, oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's but I often said, okay, you know, it's my way, I accept your way, that's my way, and that's it. But with other people,
you know, and you know, and you can console yourself, like you can console yourself. You say, okay, you're smiling now, but wait until some real life brings you some real trouble. You know, when you get some real trouble or some real grief or some real kind of issue, then you won't, you know, you won't be giggling at me anymore. Then they will remember all of the stuff that you were for them.
Because I mean, we all went through hell. We really can say in many times, with many different experiences. For me, it was also a darkness, and so on. Nobody from all these friends, old friends, did have this experience. Okay, we choose to have it now, for being realized in this lifetime, and to integrate it all, to come to our complete self, to the now self, and to soul. And this, they all don't have any idea out of it. And I realized also it's not, I can speak to a certain extent with other people about it, but not really. They won't understand it. So it's wasted time to speak with 3D people about our journey. But therefore we gather and we are having our exchanges.
I don't even, I'm just a very, I mean, little bits, but not in any way. You know, I would just say I'm artistic or spiritual I don't try to explain, no way. Especially like if I think about, let's say, the more medical part, you know, where they give pills to to hearing voices. So, but not that we hear voices, but you know, for this kind of thing. But it's just our own life, you know, reflects after we've gone through those depths, our own life reflects the joy of on the inside, because on the inside we are so alive. So I find that people really, even though maybe whatever, who knows what they're saying behind my back, for example, but I'm quite honest, I tell them my website or whatever, I don't want to hide, you know, and in that kind of environment. But it is because the way I do life that is different, that speaks, they can't actually fault me, you know. And this is what I think it's the biggest like comeback that we have. It is because we, especially in these times of craziness that people go through, people are doing really crazy things, like, you know, like through work, because I get access to forensics, the police, we work with police, we work with ambulance, the first responders and all of that. People going crazy behind the closed doors. And in that environment, we are just joyful at the core of us. We are joyful. And they know we are different, because we're not like, let's say, someone who's doing, you know, like celebrity who pretends to be joyful and then in reality isn't. But whatever happens, and they see how we deal with things, and they see the ease, and they see how things just always work out. And so they can't really fault, you know, maybe they laugh, but it always falls back onto them, you know, because they can't fault how we live our life, because we live our life so differently. And so we don't even have to, I find we don't even have to really say anything, you know, like I for example, just say, oh yeah, I've been dancing a bit and playing my drum, and yeah, you know, I've got my own thing going on, and you know, and stuff like that. And but it's with so much joy, but it doesn't need any other explanation at all.
Yeah.
You know, so for me it was also, I think each one of us come to this point, or many points, where you think, okay, so how am I going to present myself to the world? And I realized that there too is in absolute freedom. So some, you know, like I can go into the world and I feel myself, okay, today I'm going to feel myself a celebrity, you know, and feel good. And today I'm going to feel myself what, you know, that acting, that there is no need to be anybody to anything. I can just be me, enjoying my life and participating in life, and that's it. There's no expectation to explain anyone, to change anyone, because our energy is already doing that, you see. So our energy is already enlightening. So in that, then a huge weight fell off my shoulder in that way, because I realized, wow, I don't, you know, because before it was always like, oh, do I have to argue with people or convince them? I can't even be bothered to convince anybody of anything, you know, like even for example, let's say, oh, I like this piece of cake, and they say, oh, I never tried this, but it doesn't look good. I wouldn't even try to say, oh, try because it's good, like, you know, how normal people do, you know, try, at least try. For me, it's like, I say, okay, more for me, thank you, bye. You know, like, I have absolutely no interest to convince anybody of anything. And it's not even something that is forced, but I just find so much freedom in that. And there's so much enjoyment then, and there's no weight, because we've carried all this weight. And especially, you know, where our non-physical friends keep telling us, oh, you know, you blah, 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 your job, blah, blah, blah. I keep saying that to Adamas, for example, fuck this Adamas, I'm going to Narnia. I keep doing that. And it's like, okay, bye-bye, you know. Because they keep putting this heavy, you know, heaviness on us. And I'm like, no, because when the spiritual families, you've asked us, I have not arguments, but you know, this kind of banter, you've asked us to let go of spiritual family. Our spiritual family was all into helping. I'm not taking now this job with another group, you know, just different, same job, different group name. And then I realized that there's no need for to even think about that, to even nothing. I can just go and talk about how to cook tomato sauce with some, or veggie soup or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then it becomes like a real, like for me, it became like a much more playful, because I just go with no burdens. I go out with no burdens. And then I think like then the light can shine even more, so like there is so many different places that I found that I had to really look at things, how I'm doing, and if it's joy, what I'm doing. And if it's not joy, then it doesn't matter who says what. But I find that then I come back to the initial thing, but in a very different way and through experience, because now I realize, wow, yes, I am still doing some kind of shining, whatever, but I just don't have to even think about it, but before it was all through the mind much more. Okay, they're telling this and this, and I see on the news how people are suffering, and I feel it, blah, 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 that heaviness. And the more heavier I felt with this burden of having to save humanity, the more then you dim your light, you see. So the more you're lighter, the more you can then shine. And how do I feel lighter? So I always ask myself, how do I feel more joyful, more lighter, more free? Because it's in that space then. So for example, and then I can come up with those words, magnificent, brilliant, free, adventurous, excited, and I feel them. And that's all that is needed. And then within that space, I can then I don't even have to think about what the light or the energy does. It's not even any of my business. And, it's not my business what the other person chooses. It's not my business. It's up to them, you see. So for me, it's just this that I keep coming back within myself into that light space. And that doesn't mean, of course, by the intensity of last few weeks has been full on, and for me as well. And all these things come up, and painful things, and the body in the morning sometimes feels weird, but still inside of me there is that joy and just this knowing. I wake up and it's like, wow, I have well-being. I'm in the well-being, whatever else happens, I'm in the well-being. And that's pretty much really all that is my job, really, like that real job. So when I hear, like for example, Adamus was starting to put all these things, it's like, no, Adamus, if you want that, come be your physical and you do it. Like how I do my physical life, it's up to me, I'm here, and in a nice way, as a friend's way, but it can get to us. And even within this space, I have to really make my choices, my truth in relationship to anyone, everyone, because we are equal to all, and we can say everything, and we are the ones choosing, and we are those conduits through which this new earth is flowing through. And we have decided to be here, and we put up with the things that are here, and we have a right to choose how we do, what we take on, what is my truth, what isn't my truth. And so there's incredible freedom there, but it does need that kind of, no, this is my life, not your life, and it doesn't matter whether it's Saint Germain, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, whomever it is that says these things, and they absolutely agree with that. And it's actually, I found, for example, let's say with Adamus, actually he becomes closer because he wants us to be, that's what he's teaching. He wants us to be independent, and independent means that we are our own authority inside, in our sovereign space. We are our own authority and the decider of everything, and then it comes to that, what is mine is what I choose. And if people feel, let's say, that is too heavy, all this, especially for those of you that are closer to, this, what's happening, let's say, in Ukraine, and worried, that can become very heavy, and just keep reminding, like, come back to self, come back to the joy, come back to, and just switch off the news, because just watching these things, if like, even just becoming aware, if it brings you down, there's no need, so I know that all of us know that, but it's just a good reminder, isn't it? Because like, you can just scroll on the Facebook and boom, one article comes to you that hurts you, and it almost feels like it cuts you through the heart, and it's like, oh my God, I hate this cruelty, and it's like, you have to learn how to come out of that.
Yeah, no, I don't watch any news anymore. Sometimes I read some on Google, something what's going on, but not more. I don't want to dive in it anymore. And with the Ascended Masters, I call them when I feel a little bit down and say, okay, you can give me your hand. I allow you to support me, but it's my way. I do it. And yeah, this gave me also enormous freedom. Just to, but you have to come to this point to know your knowingness. I think this is so important, to know your energy, to know your knowingness, and to trust your knowingness and your wisdom. I wouldn't have been able to do it a year or 2 years before. There was something missing. Yeah, but with all of your support and living in the energy, it's also what Angela mentioned, this joy with you when you interact, both of you, with Tanya. It's so beautiful, because there is really the feminine self playing out in joy, and that it shines over to us all, I think. So it can fulfill us as well.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I don't feel very feminine at all. I just feel like, oh my God, am I too macho? Am I too hard? Like, we have different perceptions, but I think, like, if you can feel it, that's wonderful, because yeah, but it have, like, I can truly say that, the last couple of years, especially, underneath it all, it is just this joy, and it's just that Christ consciousness. I think that's what it is when that Christ consciousness you allow it on. There comes a day when it just happens, and then it's just there. It's like the basis of where I'm sitting, or being, of my beingness, is just this joy. And I didn't, before was a wishful thinking, and it was pretending as is. Maybe if you it slowly happens, and then you go for a while. It was like, okay, I can be for a day in this space, for a week, and then go out, and then one day it just happens, and that there's no way, even you can't even go out of that anymore. And it's not that it isn't challenging here on earth, but underneath it all, and it's just coming back to self. It's just being in self, that is that joy. I don't know how to explain it, but we all know it. We do. There's no need to explain anyway, because all of us here, we know it.
Ingrained, it's really ingrained. But only shortly to say, it was Yeshua who turned up the first after my awakening, and Yeshua and Mother Mary Magdalene far later, but Yeshua and Mother Mary. And I mean, this was a very difficult time for me. I didn't believe before in all that spiritual knowingness, and so, but they were there was just so naturally. And since then I have a very good relationship with Yeshua. And sometimes if I do need clarity, I ask him to come along, and he's very strong in his energy. And then not always immediately afterwards, but sometimes afterwards, I know the answers. The knowingness is there, the clarity is there, and that's so absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well.
I can mention something. So we have a scuba diver here.
Oh yes, and yeah, I'm trying new boundaries. Or no, new. Yeah, I call it fast almost boundaries or borders because in 2018 I did go through all this chemotherapy and my body never recovered really well after it, and it's still not as it was before. And now I'm pushing some things and say, let's see if I can scuba diving. And of course, doubts always come up. And last Saturday, I did 2 dives with the diving school where a very good friend of mine is teacher there. And I did a buoyancy course, and we had 2 dives there. And the following day, all muscles I usually don't use, they hurt, and I felt oh. It took me 2 days to recover, while the other guy, who is a British soldier who was in that course as well, he said, "Oh, I'm going next day. I'm going on a boat dive. Are you coming, Hans?" I said, I don't think so. And yeah, and of course, then doubts come up. You know, if are you still up to it? Are you pushing are you trying things that are maybe not as good? You shouldn't, but you know, this I think this is not my voices. And then today I had a horrible day. I spent all day in bed. I even took some painkillers because I had some pains and shouldn't be there. And it taught me actually to just be with myself and breathe with myself. And okay, I have to admit, I listened to Robert Theis' last course, A New World, on the student library, which came out the day before. So yeah, so I have a 3-meter long cable for my earbuds from my computer to my bed. So I'm lying in my bed listening to something on the computer. Yeah, and yeah, and Michael had his go on us. And he did mention something also where I did not feel too well, because he was mentioning computer games, and I have in the last 10 years played a lot. And I have to say, it's in a way, it's a waste of time, of course. And in the last weeks, I don't enjoy them. I wouldn't enjoy them. Kind of bore me. But so many things in life as well. So what I'm going just through a process where I try to find the joys, really, and they're not necessarily there because it's not the old ones. And and that came up again. And at the same time, of course, I hear all the stuff in the world. My wife is very big in conspiracy series, following them online. And when I listen to some of them, I have to agree. Yeah, there's a big truth in that. You know, it's not all false. But the thing is, it doesn't help me to delve in that. And I mean, I have been in Australia sometimes on demonstrations, people on the street making demonstrations, but also I asked myself, is that good for my soul balance, actually going so in the duality? Because going on a demonstration is a pretty dualistic action. my personal answer was, if you can be with your soul in balance, you can go anywhere you want. It doesn't really matter. It can even be a demo, but I'm still lacking this close friendship with my soul. So I mean, my soul knows me, but I very often say I don't know him or her, and yeah, and that's this week coming to me also. You know, this finding more about my soul, because I realize this is the missing piece, the puzzle piece. Which is still missing a great deal. But I'm also aware, if I'm I'm missing it and I'm searching it, then I already set the game. You will be a searcher for the rest of your life, and you will be finding it. So yeah, so very often my mind then capitulates and says, look, I don't have the answers anymore to all of this. And I find myself living pretty much from day to day, moment to moment. And if you ask me what you did 10 days ago, I said, I have no idea. I have to look in my calendar. I don't know. And yeah, and a very nice thing this week, I went together with my wife and my daughter to a pine forest. It's a plantation, and in Australia we don't have many pine forests, but this has such an European feel, this pine forest, and the trees are huge, and if you walk in the shadows of these trees, it's such a wonderful feeling. It charges you, and that was very wonderful. And sometimes I go in nature and sit on a bench, and then my mind comes and says, why are you sitting here? Come on.
You see, we're all very good Europeans. We have this mind that won't let us just relax or stop and
yeah.
And we are Germans, and Christian, and the Germans have a very good mind. The mind was always in the forefront.
Yeah. There are some Prussian virtues or not so virtues.
And
yeah,
like,
so
would it be okay for you to, let's say, go to a forest every day to charge yourself in that way?
It would probably, it's quite a drive. It's 3/4 of an hour to get there. So no, I have a not so European forest just behind my house. There's a little conservation park, but of course, compared to lush Queensland, South Australia is not so lush, but it's still nice. No, I can go for walks there, but then very often the mind filters come up and say, okay, so you're here to have a special experience. So what's your experience? Hey, you, what's your experience? Shut up, I'm not there yet. Yeah, but no, so yeah, so I'm practicing. I'm trying this day, and I'm trying that day, and then some mundane tasks I did not do for a few days suddenly pile up, and then have to do other things that are not necessarily the most joyful ones. But yeah, but I try to get soul also into some office work or something, you know. But I'm still playing a bit around, you know, from one sandpit to the next sandpit, sometimes blindfolded, but I think I'm trusting more, and in that way that I say I don't need to know. Not that I already have the wisdom and I know, but I'm getting more to the point when I don't have the wisdom. I can actually say I don't need to know. And that is quite a freedom. That is quite something which takes some weight off your shoulders or wherever the weights are. Yeah.
And that's a huge step. That's a huge change. That's to just be okay, because that's that huge trust, you know, trust in your environment, in yourself, in your wisdom of yourself, that you know what you're doing, and you don't have to ask your mind to come up with something. That's huge, because you're now then working with your other parts of yourself rather than just with your mind. See, it's because this is that big change that each of us experience in such a different way. And so you know, for you, it's in this way that you're trusting that you're not knowing what you did yesterday. Like, let's say 5 years ago, that wouldn't be possible. You know, you probably maybe start panicking if you didn't remember, if you couldn't remember what you did yesterday. That's huge.
Yeah. Mm. Well, apart from that, I will next week I will have some medical tests again to check on certain things, and I stay positive on it and say, everything will be okay. But of course, sometimes some thoughts in the background. And also I see my GP and tomorrow also to ask her about sleeping. I wake every 2 hours. I wake up 3, 4, 5 times. If I can sleep 4 hours at a piece, that is usually between 1 and 5. That's a huge success. Many nights don't give me 4 hours in one piece. 2 hours wake, 2 hours wake, 2 hours wake every night. Since a few years, I have never thought about some conditions like sleep apnea or something like that. But now I'm talking to a GP and try to find out, can that be maybe improved, because you have more energy when you're well rested overnight. I don't know why it's not working, not happening. Yeah.
May I say here?
Yeah.
During my awakening time, I also had that experience, and I couldn't sleep till about maybe 12 or 1 a.m. and then I go to sleep, and I was sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours, waking up, and it was and I didn't feel sleepy. That was body at the same time sometimes feeling tired, but not necessarily to want to go to sleep. And lots of worries were inside of me that time, and I was identifying myself with those worries. It was difficult to go through, but one step at a time. I was trying to find, if I couldn't sleep, I was trying to read something or do something that I could do during the night, not to disturb others in the house. Yes, but with the time it went, it was more smooth, more, I don't say that I wake every time in the morning not having some pain. Sometimes, yes, I have, but when I go to sleep, I always in a kind of a grace inside, or acceptance, and I know that I'm not only this human being. I feel that I'm not alone, and I go to sleep with trust. I'm trusting the process, and it will improve. I think in my situation it improved, but it took time.
Thank you.
Every time when I went through harsh period of times, and then after that understanding what happened to me and being able to look at that in a different way, accepting those parts that were in the dark, and understanding that that was blocked energy, my energy, but blocked energy. I could look with love, acceptance, compassion to myself, to those parts that reflected in those realities that I was living, experiencing them. When I was inside, it was hard to see that, but when now I see that it need, it's good, it's not it's good, but it's okay to trust step by step by step. And yes, reality will unfold step by step in for you. I think for me it was that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doris, did you have issues with sleeping?
Sometimes, but not 2 hours and then 2 hours. But sometimes I do wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I do the same as Angela. I then get up and read something or do, and suddenly I fell asleep again. By now I have a very, I can sleep sometimes from far too long. Sometimes when I sleep until 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't feel really good. But there was one point for me, and I think it's also, maybe it would help you, Hans Christian, to accept it. Once I did accept things in my life, no matter what, even the worst things, I told them, okay, I accept your presence, I accept it. And in the end, then your soul, or in my case, my soul can act out what's the best for me. But as long as I did work against it, what do I wrong? What can help me? It was the same with all the body stuff. And then the moment I accepted all the diseases, no matter what, and I had plenty of them, really plenty. I almost told them, I accept. And I trust my body. I know there is something within me, and if my body wants something, he will tell me some vitamins, or maybe for you, just listen to your body. Maybe your body tells you what you should eat or drink or take minerals or something else like this in the evening to be quiet, that you are able to sleep. And I'm sure Alexis has an answer to it too.
No, yeah.
They're just my experiences. And because I was somebody also, I mean, what you mentioned before, Alexis, as a woman, and I'm 2 years older than you, I really, in my position, also as a young librarian, I really had to fight for my position as a leader. I wasn't respected from one guy. I wasn't respected from one boss who should give me a different salary. You told me just, oh, well, you're a woman, you are going to marry. But shall I give you a higher salary? Even he saw on a statistic that I do much more, that I have much more success than all the others. So with this kind, I always had to fight to bring through me, myself, to be, to be worthy, to feel my worthiness, to know I do a good job. And on the other side, now I felt, I had to let go of this fighting and just be myself, accepting myself, who I am. And in this way, things just went off. I mean, still now I don't have lots of money, but my sister, we found the other days. I told her, I have to pay 500 euros for the heating and things like this. And now she found me, or my brother-in-law wrote to me, oh, well, we give so much. We have everything. So we are so fine of we are not ill. We have enough money with our house and so. And we spend a lot of. We always give away money to other people who do need something. So okay, I send you the 500 euros. I have it on my account. This is and my ex sister-in-law suddenly she did send me some money. I didn't expect it at all. So everything my bills I had to pay, it was just there without accepting or without. Of course, I thought, well, if I would sell my minerals, I would be rich, so to say. But don't feel I don't feel a joy. Once I had a homepage for my minerals, there was so much joy. I was engaged in it. I did it with a heart blood, you could say. And now it is gone. And I know I do restart the moment I feel this joy within me again. Then I go on. But on the other hand, when I go to near to the crystals, in my vitrines, I open them. There is just like if I would be in the crystal caves with the core crystal, it's just a joy and an energy. It's incredible, incredible. So I realized, okay, in the moment they are here to serve me, to give me energy to not to survive, but to enjoy my life. And when the time has come, when it's appropriate, okay, then I can sell them, but not yet. But it was always I had to accept really everything. Also to accept that I can earn money with them now. Even if my account is empty, it doesn't matter. Trust there will also always be some money there. And it's true. I mean, they are not millions, but at least what's appropriate, what I do need now. And yeah, again, it's accepting and the trust and knowingness, it's all within me. I had to experience this kind of life now to once let's say I'm very abundant again, to support maybe others to understand what does it mean to be once being abundant and now having nothing. What does it mean to people who do have nothing? I really felt from the heart of myself, I did have to experience this, and I only can give advices if I have experienced it myself, not from the mind, but really from out my heart. And yeah, this was really life changing.
Yeah, for me, as all three of you were speaking, for me, is that realization, that really that acceptance. And that's why we always talk about that, is accepting, absolutely accepting everything about self. Because then what happens, I find that when I don't accept, it's out here, that feeling, it's inside, but it's kind of here. When I accept it, it comes inside of me somehow. I don't know how. It's it's just experiencing that. And then when it's there, that's when the soul can touch it. And that is when it can start changing by itself. But that's why the acceptance, allowing is so important, because allowing brings it into that, we call it a now moment, but it's a definite experience when it's then accessible to the soul part. And that is why when we accept it, it works magic, because there is that fear, oh my gosh, I hate this. And all of us have that, like all of us, there were some things that I thought I'll never be able to accept about myself. I just want to be someone else. Or even, just to start working like this, being more public. I thought, oh my gosh, I can't because I'm overweight. I can't do this, like I have to lose weight and I have to wait and wait because I mean, who's gonna look at me? I can't look at myself, because I had huge body issues in that way. I couldn't even look at myself in a mirror. And so it was so full on this self-loathing and self-hatred. But it's just like, okay, this is my issue, I have to accept it and then work with it. And that's what actually then helps with the mastery, because I've learned how to, like each one of us, we learn how to deal with our own energies, because to be a master is and not in a name. It doesn't matter. I mean, we use this word, but it doesn't matter whether someone recognizes or we ever call ourselves a master. But being a being, an entity that knows how to handle self, that knows how to be a creator. And to be a creator means that all that we are creating we have to become familiar. We have to become very intimate, and to become intimate, it has to come inside via acceptance, via allowing. And then when it's inside, it's moldable and it's changeable and it's workable. But as long as there's that push away, we can't do it. Just keep staying there and it will forever stay there. But it is extremely scary to do that, because it kind of felt, for me, when I was doing it for first few times, it felt like I'm almost like sentencing myself to forever be that, and to forever have those kind of feelings. I'm thinking, wow, but if I accept, then I will always feel this low about myself or whatever, and so, but it's actually not true. I do for a few seconds feel that intensely, because it has to come through, and to go into the neutral. But it's that when then I realize, wow, but I can also feel this way about myself, and wow, and I can also feel this way, and then I can start then changing. And this is what the creator then does. And everything that happens in one's life as a master, you need to be able to deal with it and feel it and mold it and change it. That's the whole, that's the whole reason really that we're here on the earth, because we're kind of learning how that works within. How do I change myself inside, on the inside, so that the outside, because when we are present in all those other dimensions where we don't have a body, it's so quick and everything is so instant that it's hard to then realize. And so for example, when I had the virus, that tropical virus, I realized, oh my gosh, I have to actually learn how my body reacts, how it deals with the virus. That virus is also part of my energy. I have to befriend it. So it's not like, it's very different. And at the same time, also, you can go to a doctor. I found that I could do both. I can go to a doctor and get help there, but I mainly also had to learn how to deal with it myself, so that I become a master of it. And with the sleep, I had huge, oh my gosh, the same. And when I was experiencing anxiety and survival fears, every half an hour, I think there was for a few months, I was waking up every half an hour and straight into that anxiety. And it was so scary, and it was almost unbearable to be waking up. And then also every night, then after that, every night waking up at 3, and then doing the courses, like what Hans Christian, you said, Robert's courses for me are at bloody 4 o'clock in the morning. If I do some Crimson Circle course, it's like at 3 o'clock, at 2 o'clock at night. So my sleep has always been very messed up. Yeah. But I find that now, then again, it came a day all of a sudden when I stopped waking up at 3, and I just could sleep. And lately it's been like even 12 hours. like, what? Because it's just been this kind of real intense dream time. But when I did need to sleep, because really when you do have a good night's sleep and I wake up in such a different space. And if I didn't have, I can be cranky. It's harder to maintain that, be in the joy when I didn't have sleep. So I did go to some herbal sleeping, or even if you did need, let's say, Hans Christian, some sleeping pill from a doctor or something like that, just to maybe kick you into, and then what I find is, because where we are, you only need to take it once or twice, and then just knowing that is there, because we don't want to get addicted to become dependent on these things. But I find that what doctors have to offer does help, and then just having it in the cupboard, just knowing that is there, it's actually very different. And also one of the things that I found that really I couldn't do without, is that building into my day things that are enjoyable for me, like going for walks. And I found that they're very simple things. They were not something that I needed a lot of money for, but just going, to the beach and making sure, but I had to make sure that I did it, like going for a walk. Even if like I wake up and I think, oh, I don't feel like it, I would just actually go. And that straight away changed my energy. So that slowly but surely, like my day changed, so that I build different kind of habits. I find that, like when I sort of speak with people, and some people have gone into quite serious sort of issues now, Shambra people. And it is always this kind of basic things, the very basic things, is because they're not doing that. They're not, okay, I have to really start making sure that during the day I do things that are enjoyable for me, and in things like that, it doesn't matter how you feel, because sometimes you do feel, crappy, but it's just like, no, I'm gonna just not think. So the way I do it, I don't have to actually do it anymore, but the way I would used to do it is like the mind would say, oh, but look, it's hot outside, and then I have to drive or whatever, it would do, or all of these kind of things. And I said, no, mind, just stop. And I wouldn't even think about it. It's just I went into just the physical things. Okay, I pack this, put it in the car. I do this, put it in the car, sit in the car, then drive off. And then 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, as I was driving towards the walk or wherever I was driving, I started feeling better. But it took that, it really is just, you have to become uncompromising, like you, Angela, isn't it, with that walk in the morning?
Yeah.
You just have to be, whether you feel or not. Then later you can skip, but initially, to get into that place where, because it's kind of then changes your energy, not only that you start enjoying that really, but it changes your energy, because you start feeling that you are caring for yourself, and you're respecting yourself, because I am doing these things for me. And it's such simple things really, like going for walks, and even just maybe drawing, and just not listening to that mind that was so ingrained, or that was so well trained. There are centuries and centuries of experience of how to train this kind of thinking into children, that they don't even allow themselves to sit down for 10 minutes without feeling guilty. It's huge thing to untrain. And I think that it's even harder for guys, because guys, there's just been so little space for you to express your gentle side, your emotional side, your joy. There's just been such a weight put on you to be the breadwinner, the provider, all of this duty and all of that kind of stuff. Centuries and centuries of that. It's huge what you're doing, Hans Christian. Like really, even if you just think about you know, that all of the things that you're doing, it's huge already. Like you can. I know you don't like to say it, but you celebrate yourself because you have so much to celebrate, and just that changes straight away. And then the cranky day, yeah, have a cranky day. I had a cranky morning yesterday because I had to go to market and it was so busy. You have no idea how cranky it was. And then it's just like, oh yeah, cranky, okay. God. And the computer games, I experience, I like computer games too. Sometimes I do just to zonk out my mind because mine does like them, but it can pull me in. Like if I don't, I'll make sure that it can pull me in. And then yeah, I'm in a different space. It's not the soul connection. It can be a very different space. So again, for me, it's just again saying, okay, no, I go out for a walk. I go out in the sun. Whatever, even just if it's down the street or on a bicycle, whatever it is that it's that commitment to self, because it's always, I have to learn how to deal with everything, whether it's body issue, whether it's disease, whether it's a feeling, emotional issue. It is mine. And for me also, it helps me to really keep remembering that and feeling that everything I have actually created, and straight away that changes any issue, because I'm thinking, wow, then straight away I don't feel a victim of it, so it's like, okay, so I had a huge body issue, I created it for a reason, or I had this issue where I felt very alone or rejected or whatever. I created that for a reason. And then I could see why I created it, because it would be so easy to be so, like, if I didn't have those difficulties, I would just be as happy as Larry, like a family woman, having a garden. I'll still be in Slovenia, having a beautiful garden, doing veggies, having some kids and animals and things, and awakening. What's that? Sovereignty. What's that? No, because I would have enjoyed all the interactions and all of these kind of things. But this was not a lifetime. So all of those, like what all of you have said too, all of these difficulties really have a purpose. So when I could feel them from the soul perspective of the journey, then again it just changes that, like everything just becomes sacred. All of the things, all of the feelings, everything within that we feel, that we are inclined to, that we think about, it is there for a reason. It is being fed from a soul. Like, it's very often that it's easy to think, oh, that's like a lower thought, or that's like a lower feeling. But all of the inclinations that we have are there for a reason. They are divine, they are sacred. And when we say things like, I approve of myself, or just, I saw Abraham Hicks, I don't know if you guys know, or ladies, recently so distilled to one sentence those memes, on that pop up in Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and just says, universe adores me. And just to say that and feel it, universe adores everything about me. Universe adores, like when I start then playing with that, it's really very simple. Yeah. Do you find that as well? Yeah. This kind of simplicity, like if I just remember that universe adores me and everything about me, it completely changes even the crankiness of a busy market. That kind of, for me, like, and this I've had to really do these kind of things, really work out even these kind of little things and small things, and put them, like just sticker them on the fridge or something, just this little kind of sentences, and still I have them, like even on the desktop I put little pictures and little memes, and it's like, oh yeah, that reminder. Or what these kind of things, we do need them because it's easy to forget. I need them, and I just enjoy being reminded in this way.
Yeah, and the sleeping was never a problem for me because I don't even need to read a book at night. I enjoy to lay awake with myself in my pillows and just enjoy me dozing, and I find it's very resting as well. And also each time I wake up, I remember a dream, and so only when, and very often I feel rested enough for the day that comes afterward. It's only a problem when I'm not rested enough, when I wake up and I realize, nah, that then. But otherwise, no, I really enjoy just lying in bed and being with me. That's not a problem. Sometimes in bed it's nicer than the world outside.
It's a safe space.
It is, yes.
The another experience I had with sleeping actually just this week, it was so I don't know whether that's something to do with Schumann resonances, because you're having, Hans Christian, a very similar experience. There was one, well, first I did like a whole overnighter when I was just awake for 24 hours or something, like the whole day and the whole night. And I just didn't go to sleep, and I don't know, whatever I was doing, and it just kind of changed. It felt like afterwards, when after that, like it was the middle of the next day already, I'm thinking, I haven't gone to sleep. Okay. And I was wondering, like, why has that happened? But it kind of felt to me that was like a break in the, you know how we have these biological habits, and the biology of daytime awake and nighttime sleep is so, that biological clock is so ingrained that it's one of those last things that goes, that unhinges your reality. It's kind of like, for me, it feels like at the moment the reality is really unhinging itself, all of the different things that we thought was solid. And one of the most solid things is this body clock of wake up at night, because the next day I felt like, wow, it's like I've made a break with that biological. It didn't feel like, is it daytime, is it nighttime? And it kind of felt a little bit dizzying also, because some kind of that hard floor that my body was standing on was kind of pulled, and I thought, wow, that will be interesting from now on to see whether it's still going to be that normal sleep and waking up or whatever. And then I had a really good night's sleep the next day, and then the day after, the night after, was very similar to what you're saying, Hans Christian, that I was kind of dozing all night, because here there are different birds at different times, which of night, which is not good if you're trying to pretend that it's still midnight, but the birds are saying, no, it's already 4 a.m. But so I was kind of hearing all these different birds that come on at different time during the night, and I wasn't sure, was I dreaming? Was I sleeping? Was I awake? And then the sunrise happened. I'm thinking, did I sleep at all, or was I awake? It was just the most weirdest night. So it's something very interesting happening, I think, with, I don't know whether it's just me, sometimes it's just individual, or whether it's everyone. I always kind of find it very interesting then to go on some social media, because then other people also sometimes say similar things, or sometimes not, so that it's always hard to say. But yeah, there's all these very unusual, interesting things happening. So could be also, there's lots of things to do with sleep. And also another thing that has changed drastically recently is that dreaming. It is the dreaming of how something in between dreams and the waking has changed. And And the
Mhm.
dream world now is kind of intruding into this reality, not as a bad thing, but it's bringing its flavors and smells and scents into this reality and the feelings of it. So they're also, and their dreams are actually more real really than our physical world is. In the scheme of things, more of physical world is more of a dream than the actual dreams, you know. So
Mm.
so there's no whole new levels of this connection with other worlds. I find, do you find that very have some kind of similar experiences or not?
Yeah, I had
Mm.
first, what I perceive is that it's not only a correspondence to sleeping, it's we are going into timelessness.
Mm.
And these are the big changes, no matter what. And I had, it was in September, an extreme deep experience once. I really couldn't believe. I don't know if you have seen that Anne Woods and Claudia, they are making this trip through Egypt in the desert, in the white and black desert. And I once had spoke with Claudia about it. She's organizing it with Anne. And I suddenly I felt I never had the I've read about it before about this trip, but it didn't trigger me. And from one second to the other, I felt I have to go there. I have to be there. And it it went on day and night. I was dreaming of it. I woke up, I was in the desert. I was living in the desert. I had all these experiences. And as you know, I do the breathing with Tanya. I once asked her, Tanya, can you? It's so I can't explain it to myself. And I was sure that because while you need a few €1,000 for it, I was so sure my soul wants me to be there. The money will be there. The money wasn't there, and even I paid an account to Claudia, and then suddenly there was no focus on this traveling anymore. So Tanya told me, yeah, one, you have been there in a parallel reality already. It's
Mm.
your soul wanted you to experience, to have this experience that you can live there in a daydream, in night dreams, but it's not necessary to go there anymore. And it has gone from one day to the other. There was no trigger anymore. I know that probably I'll visit Egypt in springtime next year, but I'm more, it's more about Luxor and all these cultural places. Abu Simbel, because I've been living there in other lifetimes. So, and then I combine it because I already have the interactions with the Bedouins we found, and so on. It was really most beautiful. I felt this relationship also with the Bedouins, but it was suddenly it was so clear. No, not yet with this group. You do it on your timetable. You first visit all these other beautiful cultural places and so on. And then when you decide, no, I want to go for 2 or 3 days into the desert, you go, but not with a timetable. And this showed me so clearly we are out of time. It's we are in this many multidimensional. So the Merlin is showing up, and I think and suppose with everybody. And yeah, maybe it's also an explanation. I mean, you don't need any explanation, but maybe it's also something for you, Hans Christian. It's just this going in the timelessness. The, there will be a day, or the time will come where we need only very little sleep again.
Mm.
Mm.
I realized
Yeah.
also I don't have to buy many stuff to eat. My fridge is
Mm.
mostly empty.
Mhm.
I would have gone crazy before, but now I just don't need it. And I decided to have light uh, light nourishment and have the material because it's also a joy to eat.
Mhm.
Mm.
And Doris, if you like to read a book about Egypt that sucks you into the Egypt of the time, I can recommend one book. There's an Australian woman. She's called Marissa Calvi, and she
I know
has.
her, yeah.
You know her?
Yeah, I
She
know her,
has.
yeah.
Ah, you know her work. So do you have the book Thutmose III from her?
No,
Um,
no,
because she channels Kuthumi a
I
lot,
know.
and one of the previous lifetimes of Kuthumi was also one pharaoh,
I
and
know.
she wrote the book, and Kuthumi told her what to read. And when I did read this book, I was there. It took me right into
Oh, really?
into the story. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it is a very great book if you want to travel to Egypt. Just do I have it here somewhere?
But thank you. I'll buy it because Egypt, it will come, but at my time,
Mm,
not at a preconceived time from others. At my time, Egypt will be there because, I also had a famous incarnation in Egypt and in Abu Simbel, and uh, I I felt so deeply. Yeah, just go there again. And it's also this connection with Kutumi. I love him. He's very often here and gives me a kick in the ass. Saying right foot, left foot, right foot. Now you go over it a bit more. That gives you strength. It's really true. Yeah.
What about you, Angela? Have you had some time experiences lately, or sleep, or different kind of odd?
With sleeping during the last time, I'm waking up around 2 or 3. Then it doesn't keep me too much awake. Then I go back to sleep,
Mm.
and I'm waking up about when it's light is coming out of the dark. Let's say, and that's usually around 7 or before 7. Dreams are now, I don't remember them all, but when I wake up, I remember it, and then I just feel that is easiness inside, and people that I see in the dream, I don't know them. They just they're not from my let's say, they're not my friends, they're not from my real life now, but I feel with I when I wake up, I have that easiness, lots of dreams about flying. And
Yeah.
this easiness of coming out, not having wings, but very easy to move to one place to another place in a way of lifting up your body and flying. And I that's yeah. And nobody it does this around me, and I feel that only I am doing it, and it doesn't look strange in the dream, it's normal. And sometimes I don't remember the dream, but I remember only it comes like a message at the end of the dream, and I wake up with the message. Usually I remember them, and what happens sometimes, I understand them later, not in that moment. I can understand them when some events are happening in time. During the last weeks, I felt that I was caught in it was a mass consciousness, I think, grip based on these ideas that are now going through mass media about potential economic crisis. And I remember how I came out. 1 year ago, there were also lots of things through mass media, through different other, through social groups, and I had that experience, feeling myself like caught in a kind of feeling that something will happen, and that will be something that is not good. And about 1 year ago, I went to the shop, I bought some things, and I got ready for something that will happen in the future. And now when I felt myself again caught in that, in those ideas, that my mind were producing those ideas based on what I was listening to, watching to. And I said, no way, no way. Let's come back to myself. Let's be in peace. Let's do everything that will bring me back in balance, and nothing will drop me down. If I fall down, I will come up again, and so on. And yes, I still hear people, and lots of people now thinking about what might happen. But I'm already out of this. I don't feel that it ties me into it again. No, it's okay. I don't have how to say this, biological time of my body. I feel that is still there, but maybe it's not so tight on me. It does. I don't feel it. So if I wake up, it's okay. I wake up. I accept this. I just accept what life brings in front of me. First reaction, it might be an old one, but after that few seconds, and I am I'm back into my balance. I feel that it's a kind of a how to say, it's kind of not, how do I navigate all this? In the past, I used to, oh, I don't do that, I don't do that, I don't like that, and I was blocking myself. And now, okay, what life brings in front of me, it's okay, I go through, and this is my way now. Yeah, thank you.
I think for
Alexa,
you go.
No, I just wanted to say we passed 2 hours
Oh,
now. Whether you like to end the call, I would be happy with that. So, but if any, but I just wanted to say that.
Yes, because for me it also feels that we've come to the completion. Do you all feel we've come, both of you as well, Doris and Angela? Yeah, we've come to the completion today.
yeah.
And
thank you.
and it was beautiful again. It just, if I knew it was gonna be so gorgeous to have this different people. You know, like, because I just enjoy it so much, and I think it has. I'm just looking; it's recording, so I'll send links tomorrow, because here it's already past 11 now.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Okay.
Maybe in another dimension, if you're all okay, I'll send you links tomorrow. But yes, thank you to each one for participating, and hope to see you again. And you know, it's been gorgeous, and I hope that you've enjoyed just as much as I've enjoyed.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Certainly, very much.
Mhm.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And until
Mm.
next time, so
Until
we
next
just
time, yeah.
enjoy, and we be pirates and angels and just
Yeah.
play. We just play,
Mhm.
right?
I go out more into the wood because after heavy rains for some days, the sun is shining. So I go to the waterfall, which is coming down like a thunder now
Mhm.
after these rains.
Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, and so until next time, thank you
Until
very
next
much.
Thank
Until
you.
next
Bye-bye.
time.
Bye bye.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.